It's now time for personal appeal.
Hearing loss often occurs with age, but kids these days are also losing their hearing thanks to earbuds and music that's played just too loudly. Kim Alicio, hearing specialist, and Al Vicedomini, board-certified and licensed hearing specialist at Earmasters in Agawam, are here to explain what happens that leads to hearing loss. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hearing loss, it's becoming more and more prevalent, especially among the younger generation. What are some of the things that lead to hearing loss?
Well, there's a combination of things, Nate. One, the main thing is, and what we see a lot of is, of course, the aging process, heredity conditions, side effects to medications.
What kind of medications?
Something as simple as ibuprofen. And a person, if they want to really investigate that, they can go online and just put otoxic medications and Google it, and a whole list will come up.
So this is something, it's because of all these things, I mean, you just never know when you might lose your hearing.
That's correct. And the one we see the most of, Nate, is the noise-induced hearing loss. It might be a person that's working around a lot of machinery. She mentioned airplanes, person working around airplanes, the hunters, the shooters. And one of the things that we're suggesting and that they're able to do is maybe protect their hearing. And the best way is have some custom earplugs done. And this is one way of protecting, and this gives you the highest rating of decibel reduction to protect your hearing.
Because it's customized, it will sit right in your ear and block the most.
Correct.
The most.
We shoot a little impression of the ear and have something like this.
So those are the highest quality.
Right.
Can you still hear me, Al?
Say again?
They're that good. Very good.
Right. Or a spouse has a husband that snores, or spouse that snores, you know, and they want to protect their...
or can you use them for nagging? Do they work there too? I'm just wondering.
Right.
Now, how do you know if you might be having trouble with hearing loss?
Well, if a person has a situation where they're asking people to repeat a lot, they're in crowds and they have trouble understanding in crowds, they're watching television and they're turning the television up, something as simple as that can bring it out.
Sometimes people with mumbling, they seem like people are mumbling to them, so that's another indication.
So if you're having trouble understanding people when they talk, it may not be them. You may not be, oh, he's mumbling to me. It might be your problem. Is there a way you can test that in your home before you worry about having to go to the doctor?
We do, and one of the things we do when we test is we look in a person's ear and make sure there's no blockage with a little viewing scope called an otoscope. And then the next step is we actually take headphones, we set this up on their kitchen table, and if the TV's off, we get the same results as if they were in our soundproof booth. And then we put the headsets on. Just like that. Just like that. And then we actually present tones and frequencies.
That they end up in your ear.
End up in the ear, right.
Here,
and the patient responds as soon as they hear it. And this is two scenarios where if the person's normal, they'll hear the tones, all frequencies, at 25 decibels or above. If they have a hearing loss, and this is what we commonly see, Nate, they'll be normal in the low frequencies, drop in the highs, and when they do, they lose the clarity, and they have those symptoms we mentioned, people repeating, turning the TV up, having trouble in crowds.
Now, what's the difference between a high frequency and a low frequency hearing loss?
High frequency is you have nerve endings, 25 to 30,000 of them lined up in your inner ear like piano strings. For those reasons that we mentioned, those high frequency nerve endings start deteriorating first. So when that happens, they start losing the ability to, they hear but they don't understand. A low frequency is they're losing their hearing across the board, where every other sentence they're going, ha, ha, ha.
Sure, right. Now, can I test this in my home?
Absolutely. We have some technology, and we're showing here that this is the history of the technology here.
The history of hearing aids.
History of hearing aids, right. And Kim, if you want to just...
This here was started in the 1890s.
This is the kind of thing that was
And you just they used to put this piece up here in their ear and just kind of hold it out to get the volume and what was being said.
Right, and which you could not do discreetly, really.
No.
Not very cosmetically.
Right. Correct. Then we moved to the 1900s, which had a little thing that went around their neck.
Okay.
And these pieces came down here, and these were the pieces that went actually into the ear. So again, it was this, but just twice.
Okay.
And then we go to the 1940s, which actually this was the first age of electronics.
Of the electronic ones. Okay.
Yep.
So this is when we start getting less from the manual and more into the electronic. Okay.
Exactly. And this would go like in this device here would go into like a pocket, or and a lot of people that are older than back the 40s remember these. Then this here we go to the 1950s, which was the eyeglass, and this piece, the batteries and everything go back here, and this and then this little mold went into the ears. The problem with that was that
you had to be wearing glasses.
Exactly. And when you didn't, when you went to bed and you didn't want to wear the glasses, they couldn't hear.
And they've gotten incrementally smaller and smaller and different. Kim, you actually are wearing some.
Yep.
Can you show those to me?
I have 60% loss in this here and 40% loss in this here. And these are the newest, latest, and greatest from Audible. And they are all digital, 100% programmable hearing aids. This is the receiver part that comes down and goes into the ear. So again, very discreet, very light, very comfortable. You don't even know that you have them in. And the batteries are just go right in the end here.
And that's also where the programming from the audiogram, it programs right into that. That's pretty cool.
Like the circuit prescription, Nate, and then if a person doesn't like the appearance of that, we can go something
They go even
to
smaller.
A miniaturized sense.
Oh my
it
goodness.
just goes in the ear, just like so. And then it just goes out, and it still has your button because you have 3 different programs for 3 different listening environments, and those listening environments could be just one-on-one, or if you go into crowds you can actually reduce the background noise, and if you want to watch channel 22 you just you want to turn it up,
you can do it that way.
You do a program.
I love it. Al, Kim, thank you so much for being here. This is a very important thing, especially for folks as we get older to have to really worry about these sorts of things. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
For more information or to see this segment again, you can check out our website, mymassappeal.com, and click on Personal Appeal.